Hello everyone. Today we will learn about literary devices. They are also known as figures of speech. When they are used in a poem, they are known as poetic devices, and when they are used in dialogues, they are known as rhetorical devices. So let's learn about them. Literary devices are the techniques, methods, or tools to adorn or beautify the language, to make the language beautiful. They are also used to say something more beautifully and effectively. They are used to compare two things, to exaggerate or mock at something. They are used to arouse interest, excitement, and emotions among the readers or the viewers. So let's learn some of the literary devices in this video. First of all, we will learn the devices based on comparison. Simile is direct comparison between two unlike things, dissimilar things, two things which are not similar. And this comparison is done using the words like or as. It is very easy to identify simile. If there is comparison between two things and like or as is used, it means we have simile. For example, he is wise as an owl. Let's see the examples. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here the poet William Wordsworth is comparing himself to a cloud, like newly discharged patients. Here the trees are compared to discharged patients who are weak. Red as a rose is she. Here a bride is compared to a beautiful rose using the word as. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Here poet Kamala Das is comparing her mother's dull face to a dead body, worn pale as a late winter's moon. Again, from the same poem, the poet Kamala Das is comparing her mother's pale face to winter's moon, which is also dim, like rootless weeds. Here, the slum children are compared to rootless weeds, useless plants, because slum children are also considered as useless parts of the society. Slums as big as doom. Slums are compared to doom, dark future. The moon is broken like a mirror. The moon in the poem is covered by the branches of oak. That is why it looks like a mirror which is broken. Metaphor is indirect comparison between two unlike things, dissimilar things. Simile is direct comparison while metaphor is indirect comparison because it is done without using the words like or as. In simile we say A is like B and in metaphor we say A is B. As in picture you can see, education is compared to a key which can unlock the door of success. Here we have metaphor. Let's see the examples. All the world's a stage. Here William Shakespeare compares the world to a stage where all the people are compared to the actors. The field and the clouds are lovers. Field and clouds are compared to lovers because they always want to meet each other. War's long winter starved. War is compared to winter because nothing grows in war as well as winter. Still ringed with ordeal. Aunt Jennifer's life, married life, is full of sufferings. And that is why ring, which is the symbol of marriage, is compared to sufferings. From the veils of morning. Foggy morning is compared to the veil of a woman. Under the veil of a woman, her face is not visible, clear. Their futures painted with a fog. Future of slum children is compared to fog, which is dark, dim. Paper seeming boy. A slum boy is so thin that he is compared to paper. Personification is used to give human characteristics to something that is not human. It can be any object, animal, or any abstract thing. Here, something inanimate or non-living thing is presented or described as animate or living thing. For example, wind whistled throughout the day. Here the wind is whistling, which is not the characteristic of wind, which is human characteristic. Let's see the examples. Monuments of princes shall outlive. Here, monuments are described to outlive, which only human beings can do. Monuments cannot live or outlive, but they are presented to live or outlive more than somebody else. Melancholy darkness gently weeps. Melancholy darkness. Darkness is presented to be a lady who is weeping, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Daffodils are tossing their heads. Daffodils are flowers, they cannot have heads. That is why this is personification. Map awarding the world its world. Map is showing the world and it is giving the award of world to the people. That is why it is personification. The trees inside are moving out. Trees are moving out just like human beings, which is also personification. Young trees sprinting backwards. Trees are running backwards, which is a human attribute. Perhaps earth can teach us. Earth is doing the work of teachers. That is why it is personification. Earth is presented as somebody who is teaching us. Devices based on repetition. First of all, we have repetition. This is simple. And in this, word or phrase is repeated in the same line. And it is used to highlight or stress upon some fact or theme of the poem. Let's see the examples. Somewhere ages and ages hence. Here the word ages is repeated twice in the same line to tell that after a long time the poet will be telling his story. People will take balls. Balls will be lost. The word balls is repeated to stress that the possessions of the world will be gained as well as lost. Water, water everywhere. Here the word water is repeated to show the abundance of water. Still, there is lack of water. Far, far from gusty waves. Here the word far is repeated to tell that from long distance there will be the waves. All I did was smile and smile and smile. The word smile is repeated 3 times to show that the poet is smiling to assure that she will meet her mother. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop. Here the poet is stressing that we should stop doing things which are dividing us without rush, without engines. There should not be any rush. There should not be the use of weapons. Refrain. Refrain is about repeating the whole line or a set of lines at regular intervals. And it also highlights the theme or central idea of any poem. Let's see the examples. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. This line is repeated 3 times in the brook to tell the theme that people will take birth and die, but brook is eternal. Nature is eternal. I will arise and go now. This line is repeated to show the intensity of the poet to go to a peaceful place and miles to go before I sleep. This line is repeated twice at the end to tell that the poet has lot of work, many promises to keep before he takes rest. And not your yellow hair. This repetition is telling the theme that physical beauty is not much important. Now we will count to 12. This line is repeated to tell how to keep peace, maintain peace, to keep quiet. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. This line is repeated in the poem to tell the dilemma of the poet. Devices based on sound. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound in a sentence or line. Consonant, I hope you understand, other than the vowels. For example, A, E, I, O, U. These are vowels, and all other letters B, C, D, F, G, H are consonants. And this repetition is done in the beginning of the words. For example, Lisa loved to look at lizards in the aquarium. In this sentence, the letter L sound is repeated. Let's see the examples. Next night, the nightingale shook her head and twitched her tail. How beautiful and musical it looks with the repetition of sounds N, H, and T. One more thing I want to tell you, we have to look the repetition of sound, not the letter. Sometimes letter is different and the sound is different, and then the students get confused. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through. F sound is repeated here. Lone and level sands stretch far away. Sounds of L and S are repeated. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. Repetition of F and B sound has made the line so beautiful. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Repetition of H sound and the sound, TH sound. A flowery band to bind us. Repetition of B sound. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. Repetition of S sound. I hope you understand. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. When these vowel sounds are repeated in a line, that is assonance. We also have the repetition of diphthongs. Diphthong is a group of two vowels together. Let's see more examples, and that has made all the difference. In this line, we have the repetition of a vowel, and that has. I hope you understand. The ship was cheered and harbor cleared. Here, E sound is repeated, and this is known as diphthong because it is a group of two vowels. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. Here, AI vowels together are used as diphthong and they are repeated. So sound A is repeated. You shall shine more bright, shine bright. Repetition of I sound. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep. Repetition of I sound. From an antique land. Repetition of A sound. Next we have onomatopoeia, and this is the formation of a sound of something which is presented by any word, and that something can be any bird or animal or anything. This is basically about using sound words to create realistic effect. Let's see the examples. It cracked and growled, roared and howled. So crack, growl, roar, howl. These are sounds. They are used to create a beautiful effect of snow, which is cracking. Threw at it water trough with a clatter. Clatter is a sound word, and it describes the sound of water when something is thrown into water. As I listen to the patter of the rain, the patter is the sound of rain. Every tinkle on the shingle, again, tinkling sound because the water drops are falling on iron bars. It croaked on and on and on. Here, the sound of frogs singing, unpleasant singing is presented by the word on. Kua, kuash. And this is the singing of frog, which is again presented using the word onomatopoeia. I hope you have understood all the literary devices presented in the video. Thank you. Keep watching my channel and like my video. Subscribe my channel if you like my videos. I'll come very soon again with another video on literary devices. Thank you. All the best for your exams.